Mentorship is a word that gets thrown around a lot by a lot of people. Successful people like Steve Jobs have stressed the importance of a mentor. University applications look better when we use this word, and often when we ask for advice, many people say to seek a mentor. So it got me thinking, well, what actually is a mentor? If I see a video online that talks about fitness or consciousness or cooking recipes, these are all very real and very helpful things, but they're not exactly mentors. So it's almost as if we know who is a mentor and who isn't, but it's hard to actually quantify what it actually is. And the definition I've come up is that it's someone who's going to specialize and individualize to your wants and needs. And the importance here is context. So it's not general advice. Even if that general advice does work, it's advice that's specific to you. The purpose of mentorship is that you are the key focus of attention, giving you a better idea on how to improve and ideally learn off your mentor's challenges. It's going to give you an edge and is very useful. Now, in terms of who can be a mentor, I often think of someone who's very old and wise, that's sharing their life story, someone who's kind of played the game and is retired. And I think that given that I have a very average upbringing in terms of developing thought and ideas, to some extent it's fair that many people also think like that. Yes, there are mentors who in our context may be retired or older consultants, but it significantly lowers our available candidates and we want to increase our pool. So the best way I like to think about this is 10% of 10 people is one person, but 10% of 1,000 people is 100. So we want our mentor to be accessible and available. Let's adjust our definition to include people younger than us and individualize it per unit of help. I used to think that a mentor is there to help with overall life advice, and this may be the case, but different people have different hobbies and experiences, and as such, we can have different mentors. So we can have one mentor that helps you with fitness, maybe one that helps you with cooking, and it also leads to the question that, can our friends be our mentors? Yeah, that's true. Because again, it's someone who is just going to individualize care for you. Often the best mentors are the ones who we least expect. It could be someone younger than you, maybe they're very old and bring a new perspective, or it could be someone in an unrelated field, such as someone who doesn't talk to many people, but is very insightful on how to be social. Often people who can bring a unique view is what's going to end up allowing us to think. The biggest lesson for me was that a mentor shouldn't be holding your hand and spoon feeding what you need to know. Rather, they're there for you when you need to ask questions. You're in the hot seat and you need to ask what you need. So to get the best learning from someone, it often kind of presumes that we know enough about ourselves first, which often is why I think that a lot of peer coaching can often feel ineffective. We have to know what we want first before we ask others for help. If we don't even know what we want, then how can we ask someone who we've barely talked to for maybe an hour or 2 hours tops, tailored to our needs? We need to know ourselves first, right? So hopefully you can see the benefits of mentorship. And in lies the question, well, how do we actually get someone to be our mentor? And I have just one word, just ask them. Hey, I'm looking for advice. The key thing being that I will apply your advice and I acknowledge that I'll be taking your time. If anything, everyone has this innate feeling and obligation deep down to give back and help others. It's actually kind of greedy if you think about it, because charity is what's going to make us happy to some extent. So everyone wants to feel like they're a good person, right? And at the same time, there are always going to be mentors who are going to be busy at certain times, or other people that are just not interested in mentoring. And it doesn't mean that they don't want to help you in particular. It's just that they're busy and we need to respect that. Mentorship is not a contract. It's an obligation from you that you will apply what you will learn. Now, in terms of payment, we live in this kind of transactional world where everything is given and something is taken in return. Your mentor is not looking for money or gifts, albeit if appropriate, a small token of appreciation doesn't hurt. The point is that don't be scared into thinking that this person is not benefiting, only I am, and therefore you kind of psych yourself out and go into this rabbit hole where you don't ask anyone to help you. Sometimes people just want to help people, and there's just no reason behind it. I bring this point up because I would encourage you to be a mentee, and if you'd like a way to reflect on yourselves, be a mentor to someone else. The word mentor is often labeled as formal, right? So friend or a guide can also be more appropriate, or kind of ease the tension if it's a little too hard for you to go up to someone and ask them to be your mentor. So hopefully now you have a better idea on mentorship, but remember that this is just the tip of the iceberg. No one can read our mind and tell us what we should do, only suggest what we can do. And the first step is to know what you want in particular, and more importantly, just ask for help. People may be busy, so keep on asking it again and again, and surely someone's going to help and guide you.